All right, y'all. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. All right, right now we're gonna get into something that's my inaugural segment that we're gonna call "We Feel with You." Right? We feel with you. We've been doing that here anyway, so that's what we're gonna do. And this is gonna be something about when athletes get cheated, get forgotten. The injustices. You know what I mean? The injustices in sport. So we're gonna attack that in a segment called "We Feel with You." And the first guy we're going to talk about is a guy this time. We're going to talk about a guy called Giovanni DeCarolis. Giovanni DeCarolis. This guy's a super middleweight boxer from Italy. Um, Matter of fact, he's the WBA super middleweight champion, right? DeCarolis. The guy, well, let me check it. He's 24-7. Actually, he's 24-6 with one draw. And he's the WBA champion. Now, the reason why I keep saying was and keep stuttering about that is because as of now, he's not the champion anymore. He lost last night actually to a guy from Germany called Tyson Soiga, right? So Soiga's the new champion. But I'm going to focus on De Corrales because of what this guy's been through in about the last 18 months. I think you will find this interesting, to say the least. So let's focus on the guy who lost the fight for a change. De Corrales. So he's not the champion anymore. But this is how it happens in the last four fights. We'll start from about 18 months ago. He was brought to Germany because I personally think he was the weakest champion. He's the WBA super middleweight champion. The WBO super middleweight champion is Gilberto Ramirez. I wrote it down. Checking it out. Gilberto Ramirez. I didn't know which one he was, but he's the WBO. His claim to fame now is because he beat Arthur Abraham for that title. Then you have the IBF is James DeGale. All right. And then which of the other one left is WBC. I think it is WBC. Yeah, that's Badu Jack. So those are the three title holders. And then you have Corrales, who was the fourth title holder. And I think we can all agree, people that know a little bit about boxing, De Corrales, with his 6 losses, is the weakest of the title holders. So they bring him to Germany in October 2015 to fight a young German star on his way up called Vincent Feigenbutz, right? So, and they sold the fight. Well, Feigenbutz can be the youngest super middleweight champion, or the youngest champion, I think, in German history, if I'm not mistaken. So that was a good way to sell the fight, good way to promote the fight. But what we're getting to is what happened in that first fight. What happened is they gave that fight to Feigenbutz, right? You can watch the fight yourself and go with what you think yourself. I personally think De Corrales won that fight. He won that fight. I don't think it was a draw. I think De Corrales won that fight. But like in boxing, in a lot of sports, but definitely in boxing, when you go to someone else's home country, or you fight someone else, where someone else is the A side, or they've promoted the fight themselves, or they are under that promotion company, it's not easy to win a fight. You are on enemy territory, especially when you go to another country, because people will go for their countrymen. Countryman can throw a combination and don't even hit you, and the crowd's gonna go off. Okay, this is what you're up against, and then you also got to think about the judges. Judges are not judging the fight with headphones on. That would be my suggestion, personally. Judge the fight with headphones on, because as people, we are impressionable. So, we see a combination, or we see something go on, even a jab, and the crowd goes a little bit crazy, you're going to think that jab landed. Now, most of the time, jabs from the other fighter, let's just call the other fighter, those jabs are not even really, people don't pay attention to them. They don't see them. They don't hear them. They don't really acknowledge them. So, it's just going under the radar what the other fighter is doing. So anyway, back to the fight against Feigenbutz. DeCarolis actually wins that fight, right? But they basically take it from him and give him, what did they give him? I think they gave him a matter of fact, they gave I think it was a draw, but they gave it to Feigenbutz, right? So they get a rematch, and they gave him a rematch because it was just a little bit too controversial. It was really controversial. So they give the guy a rematch, and he comes back in. Let me check. He comes back in January of 2016, and he goes back to Germany again on enemy territory. And remember, they want to give this guy, the Feigenbutz, this title. They're trying to give it to him because he would be the youngest, which is cool, right? So this time, Feigenbutz loses to DeCarolis. DeCarolis does beat him, TKO. I don't know the round anymore. I think it was kind of late. It wasn't an early TKO. DeCarolis doesn't carry much power. It's just the fact that he's just a worker. Just one of those guys that some people have talent when they're born, and some people work for what they get. And he seems to be one of those kind of guys. So he was willing to come here again, come to their country, and fight again against a guy that's up and coming. And Feigenbutz is a guy who brings the heat. Just I think he needs to learn a little bit on his defense. They just got him in there way too early. His defense, he needs a lot of defensive work. So they were just kind of rushing him into the situation, hoping that he could beat the weakest of the title holders in that division. So okay, he beats Feigenbutz in January. So what does he have to do? They throw the next up and comer, Tyson Soiga. They throw him at him. And that was let me check, that was already in May. He comes right back. He goes right back to Germany and fights the next up and comer, Hungry Lion. All right? So he gets, what he did, they give him the win on that one? No, they gave it a draw, right? So Tyson Soiga hurt I think his left arm, if I'm not mistaken, in the fight. Kept fighting, which is also courageous and everything. But let's be real. I think he lost that fight, right? But he gets a draw, which means, hey, cool, we can do this again. So we were already by the third fight. This guy went over to Germany, 3 fights in a row. So he comes back yesterday, and Tyson Soiga beats him per TKO in the 12th round. I also thought Tyson Soiga was winning the fight anyway. But that's not my point. The 4th time is just a charm. The guy went to someone's backyard 4 times, and he was finally beaten. In those 4 fights, if you ask me, he was 3-1. Period. You watch it yourself. It's not I'm not really debating the fact. It doesn't even matter if he was 2-2. It's not really the point. The point is the dude did something that I thought was noteworthy, to say the least. And I just hope that he was compensated for it. I hope that they paid him. I would think they would have, because I don't see why he would just continue to go to Germany like that without being compensated. Now, Germany was known, they would compensate you. So hopefully he got enough money for it. And I'm here to give him his recognition for going there 4 times in a row, basically being the sacrificial lamb and just spitting in people's soup. Word up, homie. That's what I'm talking about. Word up, homie. Go spit in some soup, right? Because they're not trying to have you win, right? And you're going over there and you're doing your best. And like I said, he's not the most talented fighter. He puts in the work and he tries his heart out. So let's just hope this guy is compensated and that he can come back and do whatever. Another thing I would hope for is that, hey, why don't we do this? Let's not just try to forget him, kick him to the curb, don't worry about him no more. What about a rematch for him in Italy? Tyson Soiga. And not really Tyson Soiga. Sauerland's Promotions. You guys, you know what you did. You know you was supposed to be a sacrificial lamb. You know what you were up to. And it's cool. There's a lot of casual fans in Germany, and they don't care. It's a title. You know what you were doing. It's all good. No one's complaining about that. But it would be fair to give him, because he's probably out of here in a minute anyway, DeCarolis. but give him a rematch with Tyson Soiga in Italy, because you know you're not gonna try to unify with Badu Jack. You're not going to try to unify with James DeGale. They fight. You could get the winner of that. I don't think Soig is ready for that, and I know you don't think so either. You're not going to fight him against Gilbert Ramirez, right? Because he beat Arthur Abraham convincingly. And you know Germany knows what's up with Arthur Abraham. They have much respect for him. As a matter of fact, DeCarolis was in 2013 in Germany and lost a unanimous decision to Arthur Abraham, which made him have a little profile in Germany. So they're not going to put Tyson Sawyer in with the big boys yet. Not yet. He's not quite ready for that. But that would be a story. And it would also be fair to DeCarolis, right? So, in keeping with the "we feel with you" theme, hey, DeCarolis, grazie, my man, grazie. You entertained me, and you showed a lot of heart, and we ain't forgot you. You understand? Straight up. Doma Sports Talk, worldwide, and we out.